On Christmas morning of 2011, two little girls would be opening their Christmas gifts when they would realize that their mother was just ignoring them and showing no interest in any of the gifts that they were trying to show her. And when you find out just why this mother was acting this way, you're going to be completely horrified. But before I get into the story, I want to thank you for stopping by my channel. I really hope you enjoy my telling of this terrible case. And without further ado, let's hop right into the story, which is going to take us all the way over to Anaheim, California, to the apartment of 26-year-old Za'Zell Preston. On Christmas Eve of 2011, Za'Zell would be in her bedroom getting ready for a Christmas party that one of her neighbors was hosting. And while she was in the bedroom getting ready, she would be thinking to herself about just how important this Christmas was for her and her family to be celebrating. Because not only did she welcome a new addition to the family, a 7-week-old baby boy, this is also the first Christmas that she would be celebrating since her and her husband, 30-year-old William Wallace, reconciled their marriage. You see, William and Za'Zell had been together for a while now, and over the past 3 years, they had actually been married. But their relationship together over all these years has been anything but sunshine and rainbows. And you're probably saying, well, Guy, no one's relationship is perfect. Everybody has issues. There's no such thing as a perfect relationship. But their relationship in general, to everyone that knew Za'Zell, was just extremely toxic, and it was just bad all around. Nobody liked her being with William. You see, William had an issue with physically abusing Za'Zell. He enjoyed hitting her, and he had a very, very mean streak that was in him, and he took all his anger out on Za'Zell. And it was just a bad case for any relationship. And actually, he had even gotten locked up quite a few times for hitting on her. But every time he got out of jail or prison, he somehow managed to slither his way right back into her life. But Za'Zell believed that this year, this Christmas, everything was different, because ever since she had her newborn son, her 7-week-old baby son, he had been a changed man. And Za'Zell believed that for the first time in their relationship, she believed that her and him and their little family together could finally move forward onto something happier and much better. After she had finished getting ready for this Christmas party, she would head out to the living room where William was waiting on her with their 3 children. And then the 5 of them would head out the front door together, and they would head to the Christmas party for the night. I do want to add a quick side note real quick. Za'Zell had a total of 3 children. She had the 7-week-old baby boy that she had with William, but she also had 2 little girls who were 3 and 8 from a previous relationship that she had had. Now let's go ahead and fast forward to the next day, so December 25th, Christmas morning. Za'Zell, William, and their 7-week-old son would be sitting on the couch in the living room waiting for the 2 older girls to wake up and come open presents. And after they were sitting there for a while, William would finally hear some rustling in their rooms, and then he would hear them running to the living room to come open presents. The girls would come to the tree, they would pick out a present, and they'd be holding it in their hands, waiting for permission to start opening. And then William, he would grab his phone, he would start recording the girls, and he would let them know to go ahead and start opening presents. And as the girls, they were opening these presents and tearing them apart, they would be so excited, just like kids are. And every present they would open, they would hold it up and they would show William and Za'Zell, their mom and dad, just like any other kid would do, and say, oh, look at this cool toy I got, or look at these clothes I got. And William, he would say, oh, that's great, that's so awesome, that's great. But their mother, Za'Zell, she would just ignore him. She wouldn't say anything. And it was like she wasn't even looking at him. She just didn't care. So the girls, they would keep opening presents, and they would keep trying to show their mother and get some kind of response from their mother, but Za'Zell, she would never give them a response. She just acted like she didn't care. She didn't say anything. She made no kind of motion to say, oh, that's cool. Nothing. It was just like she was ignoring them. And after a while, the older girl, the 8-year-old, she would stand up and she would look at William and she would ask him, hey, what's wrong with mommy? Like, why is mom ignoring me? In her head, she's like, what the hell? Why is mom not telling me my toys are cool? Like any kid would do. All they want is their parents' attention. And William, he'd get this disgusted look on his face, and he would look at Za'Zell, and then he would look back at the 8-year-old girl, and he would look her right in her face, and he would tell her, and he would say, Mommy got drunk last night, and now she's ruined Christmas. And he would just sit back. And the 8-year-old girl and the 3-year-old, they were used to William and Za'Zell fighting. They were used to their parents always fighting, and they just figured that, oh great, they're fighting again. So the 8 and 3-year-old, they would turn around, they would go back to opening their presents, and this time they would just be quiet. They would keep it to themselves and just keep opening their presents. A little after 9 a.m., William would stop recording the girls and he would get up and he would leave the room. And shortly after that, there would be a knock on the door, and when the door was answered, there would be paramedics there. Like, why the hell are there paramedics at the door? Now, in order for you to understand why there are paramedics at the door, we have to rewind back to Christmas Eve at that Christmas party. So the night before, on Christmas Eve, at this Christmas party that the neighbor was hosting, everybody would be there. All the neighbors would be there, Za'Zell and William, they would be there, and everyone would be there having a good time. They'd be partying and celebrating the holidays. But eventually, throughout this party, neighbors would say that they saw William and Za'Zell getting into an argument. And that argument that was happening at that party left the party and went directly back to their apartment. And when William and Za'Zell got back to the apartment and they put the kids to sleep, that verbal altercation that they were having with each other turned extremely physical and got really, really bad. It got so bad that Za'Zell actually tried to run out of the apartment to go get help. But neighbors would say that they saw William come out and he would drag Za'Zell back into the apartment. After he drug her back into that apartment that night, he would end up beating Za'Zell to death. And after he did that, he would take her body, put it in bed, and he would sleep with her dead body that night. And he would make sure to wake up a couple hours early when he knew the girls wouldn't be awake, and he would take her body, drag it into the living room, and then he would put her on the couch. And he would position her in a way to make her look like she was looking at the Christmas tree and the presents. That way, when the girls came out and they went to open presents, it looked like their mother was watching them open presents. And he would even put sunglasses over her eyes so the girls could not see them. William Wallace not only made these two little girls open presents in front of their dead mother, he made them believe that she was alive and just sitting on the couch ignoring them. And not only did he do that, he recorded the entire thing. That is just completely messed up. It's like on a whole different level of screwed up. And he's a monster for doing that. Fast forward back to Christmas Day when the paramedics are at the door. They were there because William had told them that his wife had fallen through a glass table and she needed medical help. So when the paramedics came in and checked her, they could tell right away that she wasn't hurt. She was dead. And she had been dead for a few hours. And they looked at each other and they knew right away that they had to call the police. So shortly after that, the police would show up and they would come in and they would talk to William. And William would say, well, she fell through this glass table and she must have died. I don't know what happened. But when the police took a look around the apartment, they could see right away that there's some stuff missing from his story. He's not telling us everything because there were holes all in the walls. There was a door off of the hinges. There was blood everywhere, and there was a broken glass table. At least he was telling us the truth about the glass table, but what the hell is all this other stuff? So once again, they ask William, what really happened, and he sticks with that same story. My wife fell through a glass table and she must have died. So the police, they knew they were getting nowhere. So right then and there, they arrested William Wallace for the murder of his wife. Now, guess how long it took for him to go to trial and get found guilty of her murder? You ready? It took 9 years. 9 years for him to finally go to trial. He would go to trial on March of 2021 after being arrested December of 2011. Now remember Za'Zell's 8-year-old daughter, the one that asked what was wrong with mommy and he would tell her that mommy got drunk and ruined Christmas? Well, she was 18 in 2021 and she would actually testify against William Wallace. And what she would tell the jury in the court would horrify them and disgust them at what William made her do to her own mother. Now, in those early morning hours, so between December 24th and the 25th, when that fight was going on back at the apartment between William and Za'Zell, and it had turned very physical, the little girl, the 8-year-old, she would be woken up during that fight, and she would come out of her bedroom to see what was going on. And she would tell the courts that when she came out of her bedroom, she saw her mother fall through that glass table. Now, I can't find if it says that she actually tripped and fell into that or if William threw her into it, but either way, she testified that she did see her mother fall through that glass table. And after she saw that, William saw that she was awake and he made her come over to him, and together they would pick up Za'Zell and move her into the bathroom to remove the glass pieces out of her mother's skin. This little girl had to pick glass pieces out of her own mother. But she would also say that when they moved her into that bathroom, William dropped her mother and hit her head off of that toilet. Now, did William do this on purpose or did he accidentally drop her and her head hit it? We don't know. The little girl don't know. She didn't know if it was an accident or on purpose, but either way, he dropped her. Her head hit the toilet, and that is believed to be what caused her death, her head hitting that toilet. 1 month later, in April of 2021, William Wallace would be found guilty of second-degree murder, and he would be sentenced to 15 years to life in prison. As for Za'Zell's 3 children, they were put into the custody of her parents to be watched over. And that's the story of the terrible death of Za'Zell Miller. It's a very disturbing story. What makes it so disturbing is the fact that he made these 2 children open presents in front of their dead mother. He positioned her on the couch to make her look alive and make them think she was alive, and he recorded the entire thing. I mean, that's just a different kind of evil. It's just really messed up. But I hope y'all enjoyed the story, found it interesting. Please leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought about it. Do you think I told it good? Did you just not like my telling of it? Did you think I sucked? Either way, it helps me out. I won't get my feelings hurt. But yeah, leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought. If you enjoy true crime or stories that are just kind of strange and weird, crazy, dark, just stories that are out there that not many people have heard of, then please subscribe. That's what I'm trying to do here on this channel. And yeah, I'm rambling on now because I never know how to end the videos. But anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and y'all stay safe out there, and I'll see you soon.